All right. So, what's up, everybody? I'd like to welcome you to our first episode of our podcast. Is Play to Win Mindset, strategies for achieving success. I'm Jared. I got my boy Lazarius with me,
Hi, how you doing,
a
man?
friend of many years. I met him whenever we were young. Playing together, running around in the yard. Since then we've grown. We're living in separate areas. Grown to, grow up and enjoy life, learn and see what's going on. So, with this podcast, we're was developed to win an attitude, mindset strategies for success. So, we pretty much want to give stories or provide a platform for younger athletes, youth, teens, even people that looking to get some motivation or get inspiration throughout life or things like that. So we'll hop on here, share a few stories, share some things that, maybe we've gone through, some of our experiences, some things that allowed us to, either be successful in sports or life and, just try to give some tips and gems to people who, are interested in taking, life to another step or really, going out and branching out and doing more things. So, again, like I said, I got my boy Lazarius with me. If you want to, tell them a little bit more about yourself, you can.
Oh, you said something about playing around in the yard, being
Yeah.
young. I remember them days, man. You remember, that's the South, that's the country stuff. We used to go out in
Right.
the yard. Kids don't get into the dirt no more. Kids don't play. Kids don't be
Mhm.
outside till you sweating, till drinking water
Right.
out the hose, you know what I'm saying? Having your
Hmm.
parents tell you to close the door. Oh, you gonna come in and out the door, you know what I'm saying? But
Right.
I'm Lazarius Darden. Grew up with my friend Jared here, Mississippi. Both our parents knew each other a long time. Um, D1 athlete, played golf in college uh, for HBCU, and I'm here to help whoever it may concern who was trying to reach their goals, children, youth, teenagers. So um, it's good being here. Thank you for inviting me, man. It's been a long time since I've seen you. I seen you on social
Yeah.
media. I see you got your mag gear. I see you got, your whole program. You got a lot on your plate, and I feel like you've been doing it pretty well. And I want to reach out and be a part of it, and you know what I'm saying, chop it up some, man. So thank you.
Yeah. No, no problem. Thank you for joining, man. And again, thank you for showing support, with the MAG gear. So again, man, this
And
is
it's good
the
material, man.
MAG
It's
movement.
definitely said dry fit. I put it on. I was like,
Right.
yeah, I'm gonna be working out in this. It's good. It's perfect.
Yeah. Okay, no, I appreciate it. That was the intent in mind, get some material that guys can or some people can go in and get some work in, sweat, and then, got the motivate, acclimate, dominate on the back to remind you, keep pushing and keep going and, not to give up. So, no, again, I appreciate you for joining and I'm looking forward to some good conversation and dialogue. So, again, jumping into it, we'll give some experiences, stories, and we'll just talk about different topics. With it being the first episode, we'll really try to get into understanding what success is, for us, or what message we're just trying to portray to our audience, or just whatever it is that we can provide and give to the people. So, just getting into it. A very broad question, very general question. We can, go whichever direction you feel like going with it. So again, what is success to you? Like, what does success mean to you? What does it look like to you?
Uh, you know, I'm 27. We around the same age, and what I've noticed is your thinking when you're younger is different than when you
Mhm.
progress through the years. You obtain different knowledge, and I think
Right.
when I was younger, I thought success was a set in stone thing. Like if you attain this,
Hmm.
if you get this, if you reach this level, if you reach this level. But as you trek through life, you understand that it's not just one thing. Success is always
Hmm.
a constant battle. Once you hit
Right.
a goal, once you hit a benchmark, you keep striving to get higher. So I think
Hmm.
success is whenever you set out to do something, you think about it, you see it, you manifest it. Some people say manifest, but I don't really like that
Mm-hmm.
word, but that's the appropriate word. So once you manifest it,
Mm-hmm.
you see it, and you set the goals, and you reach, you reach the benchmark, and you ultimately reach that goal. I think that's success. So whether you want to, you set out to be, set out to go to college, you know, that might be the benchmark when you're young. When you're in your teens, your parents want you to go to school, right? I
Right.
want you to go to college, right? So you have succeeded in hitting that benchmark. But after that, what are you gonna do?
Mm-hmm.
You gotta, you know what I mean? How many people do
Mm-hmm.
you know have when they reach high school? You ask them, what do you want to do? They go, I don't know. I just want to go to school. I feel like
Mm-hmm.
people don't have um, a plan in mind. It's good to have
Mm-hmm.
goals. So my
Right.
advice to people would be, I think you need to set a 5-year goal starting out, and you just need to be 5 years locked into that one thing. But I think success is a never-ending battle. I think you hear
Mm-hmm.
the quote, "Life is a marathon," and I think that's pretty accurate because
It
once
is.
you get to a certain point, once you cross everything off that list, you don't just stop there and say I'm done, right?
Right.
So I think you
Right.
just keep going. Um, but
Mm-hmm.
in short, I feel like success is just accomplishing what you set out to do until you further make another goal. What you think about it?
Okay. Right. Yeah. You man. You hit on some really good points on that, and I was going to kind of go the same route that you hit. Is success is setting those goals, doing what you can to achieve them, and then like you said, it's continuous. Right. Is once you hit something, or once you reach a goal or accomplish something that you set out to, you can't stop right there. Because then you're backtracking. They always
Get
are. Would have
content.
coaches in the past that
Yeah.
say, yeah, if you're not getting better, you're getting worse.
Facts.
So it's like you can never stay stagnant or you can never get comfortable. So I agree with you on that. It's like success is like a success is a never-ending climb or a
Mhm.
never-ending battle of for one with yourself too. A lot of times people put like you said, a material aspect on what success is, or they try to accumulate, or like you mentioned at a younger age, I thought success was, money, fame,
Right, right.
things like that, cars, shoes, like that's kind of what you see at a young age, like, oh, this is what success is. But then as you start getting older, you realize, okay, like, a lot of this material things isn't as fulfilling or doesn't, really uh I guess want to say count towards success because does it truly bring you happiness, or is that something that you can continue to achieve and to continue to grow with. So no, I kind of like the route that you took as far as like it is goals that you want to accomplish or you want to reach, and then executing them, but then just continuing that like marathon, like you said, like the marathon continues as Nipsey Hussle says, once you reach something, once you reach a milestone, you got to continue
Rest
on
in
it.
peace, Nipsey, man.
And
Rest in peace,
then,
Nipsey, man.
right, R.I.P. to Nip. And then also, I feel like being able to persevere through barriers or hard times is another form of success. A lot of times people look at success as, winning or, look at the bright side. But, sometimes success is really getting through tough times or really getting through barriers because, we all faced with barriers, we're all faced with tough times, and being able to get through those is a success in itself. Is a small win and success. So I'm a big believer in always celebrating the small
Mhm.
wins and just taking whatever comes with it. So
The
that's a kind
small
of a
win is
another way.
big. What is that? What is it like when we're young? You in little league, or we play. Everybody play
Mm-hmm.
basketball when they're young, right? Or football. What is it
Right.
that we see? Like, why do we feel like, oh, I want to have a nice car. I want to have this. Why do we see that as a
Mm-hmm.
young age? Is it because adults put it in front of us, or we don't have the proper guidance, or do you think they telling us, are we really doing this whole thing wrong?
I feel like that's a good question. I feel like it could be a combination of both. I know now with social media and entertainment, really consuming a lot of the youth's, lives, or, even our lives. We're always scrolling through social media, watching TV, movies, whatever it is. And, I feel like that's what's glorified, through athletes, entertainers, celebrities. They give this persona, or they give off, the projection that success is, these cars, clothes, money,
Yeah.
jewelry. They give off that energy that is success. But then, once, you get older and you start, maybe obtaining these things, or maybe even, getting around it, you realize, okay, maybe this isn't success. Because, once you get it, now what? You know what I mean? Or maybe it doesn't provide that fulfillment that you get whenever you may have, won a game, or, maybe provide knowledge to somebody else. Because I know myself personally, I get, really a good sense of fulfillment whenever I'm working with younger athletes, and maybe they hit me up with a message, "Hey coach, I did really good this past game. Thank you for, working with me, or showing me, whatever it is that, I showed them." So I feel like that really gives me a sense of fulfillment, versus, maybe going to get a new pair of shoes that I'm gonna wear
Yeah.
out within the next few months. Which, don't get me wrong, I love me a nice pair of shoes. I'm gonna rock,
Gotta be
some
fresh.
Dunks or
Yeah.
some Forces. So,
Fresh
yeah, so
colors.
don't get me wrong, I do. You will catch me in some decent shoes, but I don't want to say I consider, having that, or having those material things as success. You know what I mean?
Um, I was gonna ask. You said something. You was talking about being young and having these
Mhm.
mindset. I feel like the kids today they got it even worse, man. Because remember,
Oh man.
man, when we was young in elementary school, the flip phone jet we
Mhm.
just got flip phone.
Oh man. No.
Yeah, remember
Motorola
that?
Razor. That was
You
booming.
had the snake game on there. Having a ringtone was cool.
hmm
Remember that?
Right. Recording
Now
it.
kids get on their
Having to
phone,
catch the
they
song
can
on the
look at
radio.
highlights, they can look at all the stuff. You know what I mean? It's like a information overload. I feel like, but
Right.
but I think our I think it's our job to lead and guide people, especially the youth, into a space where they can understand that in the grand scheme of things, you have a place you want to be to stick to it. So
Mhm.
yeah, that's what I think.
Right.
It's our job because we need to do better, especially with all the information we got.
Right. With the information that we have, available. And it's, social media. A lot of people talk about social media. It has its pros and cons. If we're able to, use it for the pros and really spread, positive messages, or, really motivate people to get out of their comfort zone, to, try to tackle things that they probably wouldn't have, attempted to earlier. That's a good, that's a win for me. So I feel
Mhm.
like that's, one of my purposes with this podcast is to push people out of their comfort zone, because I feel like that's where you grow, and that's how you get better, when you're out of your
Oh, for
comfort zone.
sure, for sure.
Yes, sir. So, moving on to another subject, that was some really good insight, really good information on that. All right. So, have you experienced obstacles or failures while reaching to achieve your goals? All right.
Experience. Oh,
Or
bet a
share
lot of
some.
them. What is what is
Mm,
success? That go back to our first. What is success without failure?
mm,
Oh man, so many
right.
times. I remember
Mm,
junior year. So I pretty much played golf my whole high school career. Junior year, I played
mm,
basketball freshman. I didn't play sophomore. I played again in junior. I remember I tried out for the basketball team,
mm,
and man, I
mm,
remember it was a big class. Everybody want to play basketball. But I would say most sports people
right.
want to get a big turnout, right? So you see all these kids,
Mm,
all of us, we got dreams, being on the team, right? And I remember for like that summer before, you train with the team, right? So you
mm,
train with the team. You do the track and field, and that's before
right.
tryouts in what the fall, so like August or October. I can't remember when, but during the summertime,
Mm,
we had to be on a track. I remember training every day, training hard, running around. They
mm,
got us out here, but damn near about to pass out. almost about to pass out, right? They got
Right.
us, you know, doing bear crawls, we doing football exercises, waking up in the morning,
Mm-hmm.
running before school. You gonna be in shape though. Don't make no mistake.
Right.
You gonna be in shape, but
Uh,
staying persistent and staying on that routine. So basketball tryouts come up, and like I said, it's all these people. Everybody want to, everybody want to get on. We got our lines. We got our layup lines. We got we got the people, the coaches pairing us off. Of course, I'm the smallest, one of the smallest people. I'm gonna be a guard. So you the whole general on the
mhm.
floor. So I get on first day. I
Yeah.
think it's practice 3 days. Get on, kill. We run the scrimmage. We do our little drills. I'm super in shape because I
Mhm.
done went the whole time super in shape. Kill first practice,
Yeah.
and they putting that list up. This I don't know how they do it now, but they putting that list up.
Yeah.
They got the
Yeah, you gotta walk
so
by and
you
check
didn't
it.
got done practice.
Yeah.
You didn't got done sweating. You tired. They gonna put the list up.
Yeah.
They posting the time 6:30. They gonna put the list up. Uh,
Mhm.
no, I'm sorry, 5:30 because it's after school. Everybody looking, everybody want to know. And you come to school, you got your bag and stuff. You make the team. You
Right.
done brought your clothes. You done brought all that for no reason. So I look on there, I see my
Mhm.
name. I'm like, yes, went through. And they cut
Yeah.
the first day. They cutting like so. 50 people show up. Oh, they easily finna cut 25 the first day. So a lot of people,
Right.
you see a lot of people down. Some people you was talking to. So you trying to be encouraging at the same
Mhm.
time, deep inside you, like, yeah, I'm finna get to the second day.
Right.
So second day come around, same thing. Um, except it's more plays and more plays, more of seeing how you fit into the program. We running drills, we
Mhm.
shooting. So we doing all this, the Kentucky runs, full court. But like I said, I ran. I'm in
Mhm.
shape. So one thing you can take is if you in shape,
Mhm.
you can beat a lot of people because most people don't do the work. So
Right.
even when they might be a little more
Mhm.
talented, so you'll win. You don't got to worry about that.
Yeah.
So running up the court, and we doing our shooting drills and so forth, and we get to the plays part. Run through that, drop them. So I'm feeling pretty good. I'm like, you definitely made that. Now, once you accomplish it, once you feel good about your performance, that's where the confidence come in. Because you didn't work all summer.
Right.
Now it's becoming routine.
Mhm.
It's muscle memory. That's where the
Mhm.
confidence come from. You know what I mean? You didn't put in the work. It's become
Right.
so routine that it's muscle memory. Now you
Mhm.
like I got this. That's where the confidence come in.
Mhm.
So make that list, and then it's the last day. So now they're trying to figure out where you're gonna
Mhm.
fit in on the team. I get there, and then now we running plays. Now, mind you, I played in freshman year, didn't play, sophomore year and all that, so I missed out on that. So all the other players, they're seniors. They played last year, so they pretty much know what they're running. I don't know nothing. That's one thing I didn't do. I
Yeah.
didn't really run no plays or nothing like that. So we run a play. I get up there, turnover, and then the coach come back to me. He explained it to me again. You can tell he want me to get it. Come up, throw the ball in. It's different. It's intense. Turnover.
Mhm.
And at that moment, he tell me he said, "Hey, like come here." When they put their arm around you, you go, you already know what's up. He's like, "Come over
Yeah.
here." He tell me like, "Look, so do this and this, and look, man, relax, this and this and this." He telling me, talking to my ear. Run up again. I kind
Mhm.
of get it done. And from that point on in practice, it's a whole learning curve. Not that I didn't get it, but it let me know that it's levels. And that's my first
Right.
lesson in the levels and how you can be good enough, but it's certain levels to where you may not be in that bracket yet.
Mhm.
So I say all that to say after practice, you know, because it was a long practice, and they tell me, there's no list this time. They call you straight into the office
Mhm.
and call me. I'm telling you, they ain't give me no time. we walk into the locker room.
Yeah.
They call me and say, hey, don't nobody call me my full name, Lazarius. All my life, people call me Laz or Z.
Yeah.
That's my nickname. So he said, hey, Z,
Yeah.
coming in the office. I already knew what was up. I already knew. You the first person they call?
Mhm.
You already know what's going on. So
Yeah.
we get in there and they talk to me. They pretty much, you watched Hard Knocks before, right?
Hard
Yeah,
Knocks.
so on
Yeah, I'm
Hard Knocks,
familiar with it.
they got the scene where they call the players in right before they finna cut them, and they got the music on and all that. That's what it
Yeah.
felt like. It felt like Hard Knocks because I've been watching them like because I already know how this go. So they do give me the same little spiel like, hey man, we like you, man. That's what we're gonna tell you, man. We like you, but we just don't have no space for you. And looking back on it,
Mhm.
I understand, I get it, but in that moment, you know what I'm saying? You in high school, you still a kid. It's gonna hurt you. So I was, crush, man, crush, hurt me
Mhm.
because I wanted to play so bad. I spent all summer working out with the team, so I'm super in
Mhm.
shape. And now it's just like, what I do now. So they give me the news. I come out.
Mhm.
My teammates they talking to me. But that's the best thing. The best thing was the team was still felt like a team. They still consoled me. They still was like, man, look,
Supportive,
man,
huh?
we appreciate you coming out. We love the work ethic. We love how hard you hustle. And from that point on, I figured out that no matter if you lose, if you feel like you lost, it's never a loss because you learn from it. You know to push forward from there. Now
Mhm.
you can
That's
take
deep.
that information, you can go and you can
Yeah.
use it to go whatever direction you want way because you got it
Mhm.
now. So
Right.
so one thing I
No, that.
learned from that is when you reach a roadblock, you can't allow it to put you
Mhm.
down. You can't allow it to,
Mhm.
get in your head because that's the way it's going to start in the mind. You can have all the ability in the
Right.
world. We know that. How many athletes we
Mhm.
seen have the ability, and we seen them under pressure? What happened to them?
Right.
So it's you got to be
That break.
strong up here first. But man, that when that happened
Right.
to me though, it changed how I viewed sports. It changed how I view adversity. But yeah, man.
No, that was a good story. That was, man, you really hit on a lot. And I like one of the things that you mentioned, like you said, levels. That was one thing that really like hit me in the face, playing sports growing up was like every time I always tell people it's like video games. All right. You going through, the first couple
Levels.
levels may be easy, and then you get to the boss level, and then
I
you
ain't
like,
seen this
man, this
before.
is
What is
hard. And
this?
then you finally get through the boss level, and then you think you won the game. Now it's a whole new chapter. Now you're going through level one, easy, gradually gets harder, then
That's
it's
that Mortal
another boss
Kombat.
level, and then unexpected stuff. So I definitely understand kind of a similar story, what you were talking about. Like I mentioned, playing baseball growing up. In high school, I was wanting to play on this RBI team. It was like a select team, travel team, reviving
Mm-hmm.
baseball in inner cities. And this was a program that was sponsored by the MLB. Had a lot of traction,
What
exposure,
was it at
and it was a
again?
really good program for
What
inner
was it
city
at?
kids. What's that? This was in or it was in Mississippi. So it was a team. It was based
Mm-hmm.
out of Jackson, but it was a lot of the minorities around the state. We would play all on one team. We'll play like summer leagues, and at the end of the summer, they would select a team to travel around the country. So usually the regional would be in Texas, and then if we won there, then we would travel to other places, throughout the country. But a lot of it was sponsored by various organizations and the MLB. They provided a lot of money to really allow us to play baseball with other individuals at a high level and really understand what it looked like to play baseball at that level and to be, sponsored and have, these nice things. Because coming from, Meridian, I want to say Meridian is more of a basketball,
Oh, that's
football, area.
that's
So I
everywhere
feel
in the
like a
South.
lot
What's the
of
first thing kids want to do? Come on
attention, a
now.
lot of football, basketball. So I felt like a lot of, attention, or I felt like a lot of funds were dedicated towards that, and it wasn't a lot of attention to baseball. So I felt like we would always get the short end of the stick, as far as like school wise, league wise, tournament wise. But this was a really good opportunity. So, like you mentioned, I was training, working because I wanted to be on that team at the end of the year. They got a chance to travel to. I want to say it was a part of Texas that year. I'm not sure if it was Dallas or Houston, but that's why I wanted to go. So, again, like you mentioned, I was training, working out, doing what I thought I needed to make the team. Time came around at the end of the summer. We finished playing the games, and like you mentioned, they were like, "Yeah, we got the
How
players that
many
we're gonna
games did y'all play
use."
before
They
they?
pulled me to the side. I want to say during the summer, it was weekly. I want to say we played every weekend. So I want to say we strung together like a month and a half of games, so maybe like 6 games to kind of just prepare you. It was pretty much how it was set up was they would let anybody pretty much come and play. We had to bring a few dollars to take care of the umpire fees, but we would pretty much play like other teams, and that would be like our exhibition games to learn your team, gel with the team. So once the coaches saw everybody, kind of understood what they were working with, then they would select maybe, I want to say like 12 or 13 from the pool of players, and then that's what they would take to the
Hmm.
regional RBI tournament. So again, I was young. I was 10th grade, going out there with a lot of other juniors and seniors and, thinking I belonged just because, I was decent. I was a left-hander. I didn't throw extremely hard at the time, but I felt like it was decent enough to compete. And toward the end of the season, coach was like, "Yeah, we decided to go with some of the older guys, a little bit more
Hmm.
experienced guys." And then that was my first time, like, dang, like I put in the work, I put in the time, and I'm not even good enough. So again, that's when you was like, "Okay, it's really levels to this stuff. Like, I really
That
now I
reality
got to
hit you,
turn it
man.
up a notch, yep, for even for next year." So again, went through the seasons, went through some trainings, and that's when I met one of my mentors, which I bring him up a lot of times when I talk about me growing through the game of baseball. And I'm pretty sure I'll mention him plenty more times as I continue to do these podcasts. But I got Kedrick Martin. A lot of people know him as
Kendrick
K9
Martin.
in Meridian, Mississippi. So he was yeah. Did you ever
I
know
don't.
him or hear him
It
growing
don't ring
up?
a bell, but maybe I'm good with faces. Maybe if I seen his
Mhm.
face, but it's been a minute. If you talking about 10th grade, I wasn't around at that time.
Mhm.
But shout out to him.
True, true. Yeah, oh man, I tell him all the time, I feel like he changed my life because he was the one that came back and really showed me like, okay, like if you want to get to the next level, you really got to put in the work. You can't say you're putting in the work
Hmm.
and you can't fake it. Like the game will know, life will know, everything will know if you fake putting in work or
That's
if you really
boy.
putting in work.
That's some
And
game right there.
mhm. And so he came back and he showed me I wasn't putting in work like I thought. The first week that I went with him, he would train with us, with me and my boy Red. Shout out to Red. We would grind through the workouts Monday through Thursday. He was like, "All right, I'm gonna give you guys 4 days. I'm gonna work with you. You'll have Friday, Saturday, Sunday off." So he came back, and I'm talking about we were grinding, putting in work. Like you mentioned, grinding to the point of thinking you gonna pass out or throw up, and that just really built character. It built that work ethic, built that drive. Like, okay, like this is really what you got to do to
It's
be better
different.
than the next person. So, so my 11th grade year came around. Again, I was playing with the team, playing the exhibition games, and I was like, okay, I got to make the team this time. I put in all this work, did everything I had to do, and I ended up making the team. Me, I'm excited. I'm happy. I'm like, okay, I'm good. So we ended up going to Dallas, I want to say. Now it was like the regional tournament there, and we had a lot of studs on our team. I will say, we had a lot of talent. We had some draft picks on that team. We had a lot of Division I baseball players. So we played with a lot of good talent, a lot of minorities around the state that could really play. And we went out, played the regional game, and just playing with them. I didn't even look like I belonged on the
It was
team. And
like
I'm like,
that.
dang, like I put in all of this work. I put in all of this work to
So
get
wait,
better, and I'm still behind. Like
what
I'm
was it? So
still having
what
to
stood out to
to
where you was
grind and
like,
struggle.
what did you see to where you was like, dang? this ain't even I
Bro,
ain't even in
man,
this part.
man, bro. We had guys on our team that were like college commits, college prospects, and sophomore year, junior year. I had a guy that got drafted. Shout out to my boy DeMarcus Evans. He got drafted out of high school. He's still playing with the
Okay.
Yankees organization right now. Played with other guys that got drafted. My boy Jamar, he got drafted with baseball and football. So it was
Hmm.
just like the talent in the team, the talent on the team was just crazy to where like I'm around, college prospects, draft prospects, and that was when I really got a taste like, okay, like that's what a prospect looks like. That's what I got to get to. I'm thinking I'm just getting into the realm and I'm realizing I'm
Yeah.
not even on the same level. I gotta put in even more work just to get on the same level as them. So it was just like, dang. So I was like back to the drawing board, back to the grind. I didn't let it affect me like you mentioned. It gives you that experience. It shows you where you are, what you can work on, where you can go from there. So again, went back to the drawing board, worked some more, put in more work. And long story short, I came out my senior year, again, played with the team. We went to Houston this year, and I ended up being a really big contributing factor to success on the team my senior year. And I like to, thank that to the work that I put in, and just the guidance and the mentorship of people actually showing me what it took and what it looked like to play at that level or to be successful, at that level and against that type of competition. So again, it really played on the levels of what it takes. And like you said, like the
Hmm.
preparation breeds confidence.
Yeah.
So it's like the more you prepare, the more you train, the harder you work, it builds that confidence in you and it builds that drive and that urgency of okay, like, okay, I'm putting in this work. It has to click or it has to work out sooner or later. Maybe not now, maybe not when I want it, maybe not when I plan it. But if I continue and stay persistent, it has to come through eventually. That was always my
Um,
thought process.
you know, I remember as far as when I seen the professionals play, like whatever it may, when I went to an
Mm,
NBA game, when I went to a professional golf tournament, and when you see professionals practice, it just their practice
mm.
look different. Like
It's different.
like you be
It's
thinking
different.
like, dang, I spent all this time, but what you don't understand is time is not
Mhm.
what the work is. It's the it's
They
staying
they
in it
focus the
and
rep,
and and
the
doing the
quality of
like
the
you said,
reps.
quality of the rep over and over and over and over and over. And like you said, that
Hmm.
breeds the confidence
Hmm.
because when you get to the situation, you've done it so much
Hmm.
to where now you can focus on thinking instead of
Hmm.
having to focus on the mechanics of whatever you're doing, right? So I
Right.
remember
Hmm.
this is my first year at Pine Bluff. So I went to Pine Bluff, Arkansas. Shout out UAPB. Um, but I remember the first tournament
Hmm.
we went out of town, went to Alabama, and I had been working on my golf game, but I didn't. I like you said, you like you said, you wasn't doing how you thought you was doing. And I figured it out was like
Hmm.
we had played a tournament there, but when we went to Alabama, it's more teams. You got Prairie View, you got ASU, you got all these teams, and this is
Hmm.
like this is all HBCUs. So you seeing people that look like me from going from to a team to where I've been the only black dude on all my teams to going to an organization to where it's
Hmm.
everybody like me, right? So I get there and I don't
Hmm.
play good at all. It's a hard golf course. It's long, and I've seen these other players hit. I'm like, that's my second one. I was like, man, they
Yeah.
after that, after I shot bad, I shot like a in golf terms, I shot like an 84. I didn't play good immediately. The next day, we got back to the school, got on it. And that next tournament, you see
Hmm.
a big difference. But that goes into playing to what you're saying. When you keep reaching these levels, that's like that parallels going through life and being successful. Once you reach that level, you can't just go, all right, yeah, I played good enough to be with these dudes. I'm gonna stay right here. Nah, you gotta forge it and sharpen
Keep
yourself
going.
even more. So when I instantly got better,
Right.
I saw a difference. Won that next tournament, and from there, like you said, you can't stop. You got to keep going. So once you really hit the mindset of where you want to be, it's never ending. You don't never stop. And once you find yourself stopping, that's when you'll
Mm-hmm.
see no more progression. Um, but
Right.
you're gonna face some stuff, and once you fail once, and once you fail twice,
Mm-hmm.
and
I
once you fail
will.
3 times, now you understand. Okay, that's what build the resilience. Coming back from it, getting
Mm-hmm.
better, and that's how you
Right.
get good at. Okay, I know. Oh, I've been here before. Because if you've been winning
Mm-hmm.
your whole life, or you've been used to you know yeah,
Mm-hmm. Hard
if
to
you
take a
young,
loss.
right? If you young and all, you've always been told that you
Mm-hmm.
good. You've always been told that this, you that.
Mm-hmm.
Where have you? How far have you seen those people go? If you don't know how to take it,
Mm-hmm.
you got to be able to take it, and you
Struggle.
got to be able
They
to
struggle with adversity.
form yourself and become something different from that. But yeah, man, like
Mm-hmm.
obstacles
I
gonna
like that.
always be in your face. But how? And we all face them. But what
All
makes us
right.
different is um, how we
Mm-hmm.
react to it. That's what makes us unique. And that goes for
Mm-hmm.
life. It goes for
Mm-hmm.
sports. It goes for anything you do, job, career, all of that.
Mm-hmm.
So when you build your character,
Yeah.
that you're gonna see it through everything you do. And other people can see it too. Like you said, your mentor
Mm-hmm.
said that you can tell when you can tell when your work gonna show it, and you can't cheat it. You can't say,
Mm-hmm.
"Oh yeah, I've been," or take a picture of somebody you doing. Oh, I'm in the gym, or I'm doing this. You in the gym. You taking pictures of
Mm-hmm.
yourself in the gym. I ain't seen no transfer.
Yeah.
I
Sitting
ain't
on
seen no
social media,
transformation.
scrolling the
You
whole
still got the
time. Yeah,
go
no
to a picture from
sweat, none of
2018. They still got that
that.
same body. So, like you said, the work gonna show, and it's gonna come
Right.
out through everything you do. So, got to get to it, no matter who you
Mm-hmm.
are.
All right. Now you hit some really good points on that. And again, you mentioned, or both of us mentioned, as far as confidence, and that kind of leads me into our last topic, or our last question for the podcast is, I know we mentioned it a little bit, but can you explain a little bit more? What's your take on confidence, and how do you, feel like it affects your performance, and how you go
Hmm.
about your everyday life? Like, I know we mentioned, hard work breeds confidence, but why do you feel like confidence is so important, or building confidence? Why you feel like that's so
It's
important?
everything, and then it's everything, and then this you can separate it by yourself. But I feel
Mm,
like when you have a goal, when you see something clear, right? If you don't feel like you can do it,
mm,
it's a cliche statement to make, but what you put out, how you think about stuff, that reflects how the output you get. So if you have a down
mm,
attitude towards, all right, I'm gonna go do this workout. If you acting like that before you even go, how productive is that workout gonna be? You go to the gym, all right, I don't really want to go. All right,
very
yeah, I'm gonna
productive.
just go and knock this out. But if you feel like, oh, I've been doing this, I'm gonna go ahead knock it out. You get better results overall. So also,
Mm,
I feel like when you go to a job, whatever job you're working, whether you got your own business, whether you wake up and go to a job, if you doubting yourself on getting to that next level, making a benchmark, um, trying to achieve something that your boss or whoever wants you to achieve, or whether you want to make a goal into your business, like if you don't have
mm,
that thing, that it factor to where you know that you can do it, because every successful person that you hear talk,
mm,
they always say the same thing. Every single one, no matter who, you can just pull up. If you pull up motivational speaker, they're gonna hit the same
mm,
points. You pull up a actor, somebody that you
mm,
look up to that's real famous, they all make the same thing. They all saw it. They all have a thing about themselves to where they know that they can do it. They know it's gonna happen. So if you don't have that, you're not giving yourself
mm,
the best chance. If you shoot to a certain level, then you're gonna land definitely amongst higher than everybody else. If you put in mediocre work, your confidence not gonna be there. Confidence is what gets you there, right? But it's the small minutia things in between that grants that confidence, like we talked about earlier. If you've been putting in the work, it's gonna be there. If you don't, then on game day,
Right.
then on the test day, and then on the day that you
Mm-hmm.
got a PT test, then on the day that you got
Mm-hmm.
to 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 talk to your boss or got an interview, then that's when it's gonna come out. That confidence is gonna sink. You're gonna think about it. I really haven't been working like I have. You see other people around you, and you're gonna be
Yeah, I
like,
did.
you're not gonna give your best performance. It's gonna be lackluster at best. It's gonna be mediocre. So if you put mediocre work in, confidence gonna be mediocre. I know you know that from what you told me. When you saw them three levels
Yeah.
happen, you were like, "Hey, I got to this level, and I got to this level." I know you know.
Right. Yeah. No, you used some really good points. Yeah, like you said, man, like the work, it does breed the confidence, and then the confidence is what allows you to really perform at your highest level. Because I had to learn, the hard way that, if you don't have any confidence in yourself, or if you don't have that high level of confidence, it's extremely hard to be successful, especially in baseball, even sport like golf, to where confidence is key. Because if you're not confident in yourself, if you're
Ooh,
not confident in your swing, your throw, whatever it is, if you have any slight hesitation,
yeah,
you throwing everything off. And then, that's just a trickle down effect on your confidence. And then now it's going to snowball down the hill. So now I feel like confidence is a big contributing factor into success, on and off the field, off the court. One guy that I look at who has extreme confidence, some people may even say is cocky, is
come
Floyd
on now,
Mayweather. Like he is extremely confident in
come on now.
himself, but it shows. Like that's why he's one of the highest paid, athletes or highest paid performers or entertainer, because he is so confident
But
in himself
you
that
see
nobody
his
can tell him
workouts though.
otherwise.
You see,
Yes, but like you said, he is a dog when he works out.
I
Like
can't think
he,
of another
like,
person
oh
that I
man,
can
like it's
sit
crazy.
there on my phone and watch 40 minutes, just a 40-minute workout,
Oh,
and
bro.
you see his movements.
Mhm.
He jumping
And it's
rope. It looked like
crazy.
he jumped rope 15,000 times before he did
Mhm.
it. He just looked
And
like when
I'm
he just like
telling
he
you,
not even
and
thinking about
it's
it. He just doing it. When he hitting them past, he looking at the camera talking. He in the
hmm
ring talking to people like, yeah.
right,
But
talking
see,
noise,
but
clowning around, because he knows he's putting in that work so much and so often that it's second nature to him. So he knows that he has the best shot of winning because he put in so much work. And like I want to say this is a quote from him. I'm not sure if it's verbatim. I have to go back and double check, but I want to say I was listening to one of his like pre-fight interviews or something like that, and he was just talking about, if I'm on the treadmill and the guy next to me is on the treadmill, and we're going at it like we out trying to out train each other. He was like, I'd die on that treadmill before I let the person beat me. I was like, man, that's crazy. He's like, I'll literally die on that
that's
treadmill before
competitive
I let that
mindset.
next person outbeat me. And that just lets you know, like, mindset, it all goes back to the mindset of, okay, the will to win, the will to want to be better, the will to put in the work. And then once you do all of that, that's just the ingredients for confidence. Having
You look
confidence
at
is the ingredient for
you
success,
see
preparation
who like you could
and
look
all
at
of that.
Floyd, you could look at Kobe, you could look at but see what when you
Mm-hmm.
look at all these great players,
RP.
why you think it's only a few of them? Why you think it's only one LeBron? Why you think it's only
Mm-hmm.
one like it's only a few, it's a small few. Most people average, and they're not going to admit it, but most people average.
Mm-hmm.
And when you say what
All
separate
right.
those great people from average people, they have the ability to do something for long periods of time, monotonous, to waking up 4 o'clock
All
in the
right.
morning, just doing
Consistency.
stuff. And if I had to give young people some advice, do something. Set like if you don't have the ability to do something as simple as waking up early, how far do you expect to go? Like
Mm,
that's like it's small stuff in your everyday life. If you just make up one thing, okay, I'm a do
mm,
my fast. I'm gonna drink this amount of water. Like it could be small stuff. If you can
right.
set a goal like that,
Work out. You know,
right?
a
If you can
30-minute
set something
workout
like
or
that
something.
and do it for long periods of time, now you've uh, you've
Mm,
attained that that attribute to be disciplined in that. So now you can use that. Okay, I know what it takes
mm,
and I know what it feels like to do this, and you just multiply it and keep multiplying it and keep multiplying. That's the best way I can describe it because, like I said, how else would you have these crazy athletes that's up here, and then you got the other professionals, right?
mm,
Speaking of levels, who's professionals, and
mm,
this is normal people, right? Average professionals, normal people. An average person,
right.
you call somebody like, we joke around. This person, sorry. This person, not good. But if you take them and put them with normal people, they're gonna look like Michael
Right.
Jordan.
They're
They're gonna
running
look
laps.
like all these people. They're gonna look like
Right.
like you ain't never touched the you never touched the amount of success they touch. But that's what separates people. So you gotta do the work that other people not
Mm,
doing if you want to be there. And I mean, you can tell people as much as you want, but it really is gonna take yourself to understand it. It's gonna take them losses. It's gonna
mm,
take those obstacles
right.
to show you about yourself, show you your character, and it's gonna make you be better. And
Mm,
that's a decision that you gonna have to make. If you make the decision to do it, it's all on yourself. And that's the best way I can put it.
mm-hmm. No, that's some really good information, man. So again, those are all the topics that I wanted to hit on this one. I don't want to get,
Oh
too
man, this was
long
great, man. This
and
was
drawn
great.
out. I want to leave some content for Oh man, I enjoyed it, bro. So we
Oh
got to
yeah,
leave
yeah.
some content for
Cause
another
I'll
episode. So
mess
hopefully
around and
we
be
can
on
get
here for
you
two
back on
hours,
pretty
low
soon.
key. So we're gonna have to. But
It's all good.
so I want to ask you a question though.
Mm.
Being being a
Okay,
coach,
now go
like
ahead.
I've taught kids,
Hmm.
I've taught kids in like volunteer programs, and having patience,
Hmm.
I know your patience got to be up here. So
Hmm.
like when you first, like, what's the difference in
Oh
when you
yeah.
first started like teaching kids to now? Like, what do you wish you knew when you was younger or when you first started doing it versus now? Because I know it's probably you just moving through it now, but what's a challenge you face?
Mm. That's a good question. I want to say, coming out of school, I started getting into coaching and training about 2018. Once I graduated, decided to go back get my master's degree in sports management. I kind of felt like coaching would be in my future just because of the love that I have for the game, the passion that I have for sports, and then coming from a background of coaches, like my grandfather, him being a well-known coach in Meridian and, having, like a field and things named after him. So I kind of knew once I graduated, like, okay, that'd probably be the direction that I want to go. But getting into it initially, I'll say that I wasn't
Mm.
as organized or prepared as I tend to be now. I feel like whenever I started, it was me feeling like, okay, I'm going out there, I'm training, I'm just gonna show them, what I'm doing versus, okay, let me identify what it is that they need help with, and then let's really hone in on working on those weaknesses and really building those strengths. I was more of, okay, like this is what I used to do, this is what was worked for me, this is what was fun for me, let's do this. But then that may not have been what the athlete needed at that time to grow. So I felt like that was one thing or some advice I would give to my younger self first getting into it was like, okay, like really understand what it is that the athlete needs and then, build a program or a system around helping that instead of just going in, okay, like this is what was fun for me, this is what I like doing, this is what looks cool, let's go with it. But that was the big thing for me is like really identifying, weaknesses, areas of opportunity and to really develop a complete player instead of just going back and just, giving out whatever. Like I really want to
Mm.
personalize my instruction or personalize my training to allow, the best potential growth or the best possible growth in that player instead of just, everything is just general or average. So that was the biggest thing for me is really learning how to identify each player's unique, abilities or
Man, you
weaknesses or
doing it, man.
opportunities.
We probably elaborate on it more, but you definitely doing it, man. Like I can imagine you gotta you gotta have a good foundation for that. But um, I appreciate it, man. Appreciate you having me on here, man.
No, man, thanks for joining me, man. Again, hopefully this isn't the first, or hopefully this isn't the
Definitely
last
be back.
time, and we can get back on here and hit some more topics and continue to give out some experiences and stories to younger athletes, or whoever's listening, adults, parents, businessmen, whoever it is that wants to find inspiration or motivation, or just want to listen to us talk about our stories and experiences. So, thanks again, man. I appreciate the content, and even myself, hearing some of the things as well. It inspired me and motivated me to keep going and keep trying to push my brand
Yes,
and
sir.
business.
Appreciate
So,
you,
I
man.
appreciate it, bro. All right. Well, again, thanks everyone for watching, tuning in. Again, this is Play to Win Mindset Strategies for Achieving Success.
Play again.
Again, this was our first episode. Give us some feedback on how you liked it. Comment, review, send us a message. Let us know what you want to see more about, more topics you want us to hit, more things you want to talk about, and
Salute.
we'll see you on the next episode. All right. Thank y'all. Peace.